area here of the Honda Center, and as well as the Anaheim Stadium for the folks down here in Orange County, giving you an idea where we're at. But as we swing out here, it's going to be a little bit of a long shot just for a minute as we go around the edge of the Disneyland restricted flight zone. And he's continuing at a very high rate of speed. South 57, approaching Ball Street is going to be the next street he comes to. And then through there will be Catella, and then right to the Orange Crush where the 57, 5, and 22 all come together down here. And at that point, you see right there, he's passed the unit on the side. That's how they do it. They get set up on the side of the freeway, move out, and then join up with the other units, 5 copy, and join up with the other units and let them drop off and go in, because they're more familiar with their area down here. Once they get off the freeway, they have an idea where they're going on. And I can tell you now, Orange County Communications Center is coming on to their Orange County Pursuit channel to let everybody know what's going on coming into Orange County. So right now, passing the pond, the Honda Center, and coming up to the 22 will be the next freeway they come up to. Then right after that into that Orange Crush where the 57-5 comes together. So at this point, we'll have to see what his plan is, which way he's going to go. But right now, it looks like he's content to stay south here. But once the 57 comes to an end, down here at the 522 area, then right now it's going to be anybody's guess. So you can see he's still passing traffic, CHP behind him. Stolen vehicle out of South Los Angeles, as you said, started just before 9 o'clock. And as I said, the CHP is in that pursuit mode where they're handing off from office to office, so they're not worried about losing him as far as the air unit keep an eye, or having units get too far out of their patrol districts and able to stay with him. Now he's just going to have to figure out where he's going to go as we come into the Orange Crush here. He's going underneath the 22. That's the 22. He's still staying on. Now he's on the 5. So the 57 turned to the 5 under the 22. So now we're southbound 5 freeway here from the 22. And so now this takes us down towards the central part. Oh, we're making a turnaround, and we're going to be eastbound 22. He just made that turn. And I want to kind of bring Sky 5 around here and hold over the 22 and let him catch up with us. Now the 22 goes right over to the 55 freeway. Goes over to the 55 freeway, dead ends there. So as we continue on, I'm going to let him catch up with me and let him go right by. But it gets to the 55 freeway, and it dead ends there, so he's going to have to go either north-south 55. And at that point, we don't know exactly what his intentions are. But right now is a good time. We can probably push in tight there and see if we can see anybody in that passenger seat. And looking in there, looks like we had tinted windows on it, so it's going to be kind of tough to peek down through that windshield, maybe catch some hands or something. If Mike and Cher, if you can help us out with the bigger monitors in there. But right now, it's kind of hard to see in there, and he kind of passing right on by us. Yeah, so, yeah, it's that, yeah. Five slowing up. Yeah. Five's turning north. That's one thing you really work on with the new guys when you first come in there is when they get in their first pursuit is to get them not to do what we call a bumper lock, where basically they look at the back of that car and that's all they see, and they lock in on it, and this guy will go through a red light and they'll just blast right through right behind them, and they just don't look around. They have narrow tunnel vision. So bringing them to where they can calm themselves down, as you talked about, it's a high adrenaline deal. And it's basically you have to control your breathing, you have to control your emotions, and not get yourself so involved in this that you just get tunnel vision on the back of that car. You have to protect the motoring public all around this guy as much as taking care of yourself. And the problem as you get is they get too close to it and then start getting really hung up on it. But through training and through practice and everything they go through
is this pursuit's
with the training
continuing on.
officers from the academy and then out here in the field training officers, they teach them to just hold their emotions in check, keep their breathing under control, keep calm on the radio. And that's what the air unit overhead, when he's calling a pursuit, he's relieving that officer on the ground of that responsibility, what gives him the ability just to concentrate on his driving, on the distance from that car, and what's going on around that car. And as I spoke of earlier, getting out of that left-hand lane, because everybody's going to start diving right on you. Roger. Start diving to your right, and that as you go, he goes by, they see the blue and red lights behind them. They start going to the right, so you kind of hang to the left to stay out of their way, because people will lane change right in front of you if you're not paying attention. So right now, that officer behind is just taking care to stay right close to him. Normally they'll back off just a little bit, but CHP is a little more aggressive on pursuits to where they'll get right up in there with their 3-unit pursuit group and 2 regular patrol officers and then a supervisor. And that supervisor's job is to keep track of this pursuit and see how it's going. If it starts getting out of hand, starts getting a little too wild, he will then call his units to back off, slow down, and let the air unit handle it, let him get ahead. So they don't want that to become a problem. Now we're coming up to the 91 freeway. We're north on the 55. We took the north 55 from the 22, and now we're coming up here. Looks like we're picking up the west 91 from the 55. So we just kind of made a big old loop here around the freeways as we came through there. So it was the 57 up to the Orange Crush, 22 east, 55 north, and now 91 west. And you can see he's just holding here. But as I said, these guys will hand over to each other as they go through different divisions. And like I said, if that sergeant back there in the pursuit sees anything getting a little bit too dangerous, he will go ahead and call the units to back down, back off a little bit, let the air unit call it, and stay with it. There's no sense of them getting right up on them and doing things a lot, very dangerous type driving with that air unit overhead. They just need to kind of maintain distance and stick with it. But for a patrol officer, a guy in that first car, it's a real big deal trying to keep that adrenaline down as you continue in this pursuit and not get yourself wound up too much to where you stop using your peripheral vision and get, like I said earlier, that locked on that bumper, that narrow vision on that bumper, to where you're just doing things that kind of endanger other folks on the line, and that's where that supervisor will step in and kind of bring you back to reality. So right now, these CHP officers doing a great job here, sticking with him as we continue westbound on the 91 freeway, heading back down towards the 57 freeway. We'll be coming up here in about a mile and a half. He's still at a high rate of speed, but luckily you see his headlights are on now. So that's going to help out the people that he's catching up to as he goes by. But most of these folks don't even see him until he's passed. And then that brings them around, and then all of a sudden they see those lights behind him. And at that point, it's the officers behind them. They have to make sure they don't run into another car going through. But here we go through the interchange of the 57. He's holding the number 2 lane, still at a very high rate of speed, probably 80 to 90 miles an hour, passing underneath the 57 freeway, westbound 91. Bringing us up into the Anaheim, Fullerton area, and heading kind of back to where we came from. So if he stays on the 91, that'll take him all the way back eventually to the 110 freeway, so what we started off on. But holding over to the number 3 lane, coming back to the number 1, just weaving through slower traffic. And, slower traffic is going about 70 miles an hour, so kind of gives you an indication of how fast this guy is going. Exit. Five is going to slide just a little bit north. That's right. Westbound 91, we are coming up on Magnolia, actually coming up on Brookhurst here, West 91. This will bring us up the interchange for the 5 freeway. Will be the next freeway interchange we hit. And, you know, let's see what he does from there. But, yeah, he's not even given any indication that he's going to slow down or even, you know, try to get off the freeway. Because you know what they'll do? They'll get off the freeway and then just start trying to make turns to get out in front of the police cars and get to, you know, to ground to where they get out of sight and then bail out on foot and hope they can outrun the helicopter, which doesn't always work out for them. I've not seen one get away from a helicopter yet once he gets on foot. But right now coming up into the 591 interchange as we come over the top, we're going to see where he's going to stick. Looks like we're right now staying with the 91 as we go under. It's a big maze of overpasses and underpass crossings and things of that sort. But it does look like it's still west 91 from the 5. So there you go, right through the 5, passing Magnolia. And then right now we're going to continue down. Well, Dale will be the next cross street we hit. And this will take us out through the North Carson area, or North Long Beach area, and Lakewood, and that Bellflower area as we continue on. Now, CHP air units still overhead providing the light for the units behind. They've dropped way back, so I think what happened is I didn't hear it on the frequency, but they probably told him to go ahead and back off and let him run just a little bit, because at that one point they were really up on him and his speeds were picked way up. So right now he's still well over the freeway speeds of the folks here in continuing here along as we work our way through, coming up to the Orange County borderline as we work through here. So back up towards the LA area as we work here west on the 91, coming up to probably Carmenita or Valley View here in a minute as we push through. But right now it's anybody's guess what he's thinking, what he's planning to do. It's a stolen car, so right now they don't know where he's from. And as we continue through here, it's going to be anybody's guess how we end up with this, where this thing is going to end. So now. Five's up at 15. Yeah, he slowed down quite a bit there as we kind of went through the Carmenita Valley View area. Now he's back up on the speed. They are very close to him at this point. And continuing through here, working our way towards the Bellflower Lakewood area, approaching to the 605. But and now we have the county sheriffs coming back in to help out because we're going back up into their area. Now he's looked like he's getting off the freeway here. Let's see what these freeway off ramp he's on as we come to a stop here, and coming down to the bottom of the ramp here. And turning southbound. Pioneer, southbound Pioneer from the 91 underneath the freeway as we come around. 5 just got a pedal turn here. And looks like he's slowing down here. He's going to make, oh, yeah. He just made a turn there. We thought CHP was going to pit him, but he didn't get a chance to. He just Pioneer south to the first intersection turn and is now back northbound here on Pioneer. Around, just pushing hard, trying to get him to come around. There he comes around. CHP jam car going to come in, jam into him so he doesn't move. And right now he's going to hold him here, but the problem is there's nobody behind him to come in to jam the rear. And so that's the problem right there. They got to get somebody in behind so he can't back away. But luckily, hopefully that car stalled when it went back around like that, because they are designed once that transmission realizes it's going backwards in drive, it'll automatically shut down the engine on most newer vehicles. So right here on Pioneer, just north of the 91 freeway, he got off, went south to the first intersection, made that U-turn, and then again tried to make another U-turn here just north of the 91. And that's where CHP got onto his left rear fender and it pushed him around. So right now you see it's face to face with this one CHP unit. The other ones now have moved out of the way. There's nobody behind them. They're blocking traffic to make sure nobody gets in the line of fire. And we're just right now at a standoff, and it's up to the suspect right now to determine how this ends up. CHP is going to start giving commands over their PA system. Driver door coming open as he pops out here, hands coming up. Facing away, step away from the car, face away from me is what they're telling him. You see it looks like a male, short pants. Face away, keep your hands where I can see them, and then walk back slowly towards me is what they're saying. Officers maintaining their position of cover, and they should bring him right back to the door. But right now they're going to drop him down there so they can see in the windshield that there's no one else visible in that car, but you never take that for granted that somebody's not laying down in that back seat. Yeah. All right. Yep. Five's coming down to 1,000. See if you get a plate on the car. Here comes the plate on the car before they move it. Well, never mind. What'd she say? Did you hear anything she said? Yep. Just north of the 91, right by the off-ramp. For Santiago. Okay. Five's coming back up. I got you. All right. Well, I can't.